Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real Anthony D. And your main man, Jersey's finest, the hood representative, Uncle Frasier. Yep. Wait a minute. Hold on. I played the intro and I ain't even hit. What's going on?
Oh, you didn't hear it? Something was big. I said it.
I didn't even hear it, bro. You was too far.
I absolutely gave a big one. Absolutely.
Salute.
Good morning, Nick Nation. Thank you again for joining us. Absolutely. We got to tip our hats and all that good stuff. Another Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday for those of you who are celebrating.
Yeah, man. Palm Sunday. Yeah,
absolutely.
Man. Yeah.
So what's going on, Uncle Frasier? Where we at?
Man, tired as hell, bro.
The Isley Brothers are the greatest group ever. Is that what you were about to say?
No, I was gonna say something like maybe the Stylistics when you asked that question. But if you say the Stylistics or Delphonics are not as good, bro, I'll go with the Isley Brothers.
No, the Isley Brothers are, they're just something special,
The Isley Brothers is alright, bro.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Don't try and get my blood boiling so early in the show, Freezy. Don't do it.
Right, bro. The Isley Brothers is definitely top 68 all time.
Top 68. How about top 5? How about that?
Top 5 of what?
Of groups, music,
relax.
And just
relax.
Period.
We gotta calm down.
You know what I mean? Isley Brothers has the original Creep record. The original emotional record. Footsteps in the Dark is an absolute Creep record. Yeah. It's an absolute windows into the soul of, how that insecure man is feeling at that time. And because what? He is Footsteps.
Yeah.
And it's an analogy for, what it is when someone is tiptoeing out the back door on you.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I just can't have them over Earth, Wind, and Fire, and definitely not over Kool and the Gang. Jersey City in the house representing.
Well, absolutely. Those are great groups, and they have their, Kool and the Gang. May be my personal favorite. They are just they're just legendary. But I can sleep well at night with the Isley Brothers as my over them.
I just can't. I think the Spinners are better. And I think the Spinners are better in the sense that everything the Spinners put out is a smash. The Spinners have more top 20 records than any other black music act that has ever been created. Now, do they have more number ones? No. But they have more top 20s.
Dude, better than Are We Really Sure? Can a love that's lasted for so long still endure? Do I really care? Hey, let's stop this. Well, I forget the words. But that's Mr. Big. What are we talking about? You
great,
crazy?
He great.
Did you catch them in the, it wasn't in their prime anymore, but was it 2 years ago, the live?
Yeah, the Tiny Desk thing.
With them and Earth, Wind, and Fire, Mr. Big was just waiting to take it over, and he did at the end. He just commanded that whole. All Mr. Big had to do was something like this with his hand, and every silver fox, 70-year-old still trying to be a MILF / cougar with a ram to rush that stage and kaboom. No, sir.
Yeah. They great, bro.
Isley Brothers.
The Isley brothers are great.
Them.
The Isley brothers are great for those that think Sugar Ray Leonard was great, right? Like Isley Brothers is great in that sense where if you're like a Sugar Ray Leonard fan, you're like, oh, the Isley Brothers, the Isley Brothers and Sugar Ray Leonard fans are those fans that love like the Adidas tracksuits. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
these are like personal or subliminal shots at, is it me in particular? Is it me in particular? Because I'm Hollis Queens, I'm Run DMC, I'm Adidas all the way. This sounds, or is it a shot at Queens? Is that what this is?
You know what? As a matter of fact, you cut me right before I was say those that like the Isley Brothers, Sugar Ray Leonard, Adidas tracksuits, and Run DMC.
Oh,
right? So maybe you are the king of that group.
When you come here to New York, you will not be welcomed in the borough of Queens. I'll help you out right now. You will not be welcomed. Queens, Flushing, The Rock. Where we at? Jamaica, Springfield.
Jackson where we at? Heights, very own.
Where we at? Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you're right. If you in that group that like the Isley Brothers and like Sugar Ray Leonard, those of you, it's the same group. Those of you that have that drink the same drink for like 30 years, like you have to have that same. Those are y'all that like the 30 same plus. Drink, yo. Yeah. No.
South Side. Yeah. Ozone. South Jamaica. Where we at? This man is not welcomed. This man is not welcomed.
They out of Bailey's. What kind of establishment can be out of Bailey's? Yeah. That type.
Sir, I want to say one thing to you, sir, with that before I just totally, just forget that you said anything like that and, personally forgive you. I want to let you know, whenever it came time for Sugar Ray Leonard to step to the moment, he always stepped to the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When no one could beat the Cubans, when it came down to the gold medal round, okay, the man was throwing 14 punch combinations.
Yep.
Okay. As I said last week.
And connected on about half. Throwing 14,
okay.
7, 8, 9 out of that 14.
That's going to put you away.
Yeah.
After 4. You know. Shout out to the Cuban. I can't remember his name. That stood that wrath. Those of you who doesn't believe he beat Marvin Hagler, whatever. His name is under decision.
Yeah, his name is on the decision.
Thomas Hitman Hearns stopped him. When he was the Motor City Cobra. Okay, I'm gonna need you to forever put some respect on that man's name.
On who? Hearns? Okay. Hearns was a baller. Was a brawler.
Ray Charles Leonard.
He aight.
From Palmer Court, Maryland.
He aight.
Palmer Court, Maryland. Okay.
Sugar Ray was aight.
Sugar Ray literally, as Ali is fading into the sunset, he literally takes the boxing game and carries it to Mike Tyson.
Into the 80s. Yeah. Sugar Ray was aight, bro.
Okay? I just want you to know that. Okay?
The only thing I really like about Sugar Ray is he introduced me to 7-Up. But aside from that, bro, he aight to me.
I thought 7-Up was bankrupt until I had it at a conference the other day. I was like, somebody brought me a 7-Up. I was like,
7-Up.
So I immediately turned to the back to see if it had an expiration date since 1983. I'm like, yo, what the hell is this?
7-Up? 7-Up and Tab?
What serving 7-Up out here? What is going on? Like, where am I? You know what I'm saying? Is it a money shortage out here? What's going on? But salute to 7 Up. Salute. That was a big
I
drink
had some
back in
7 Up
the
and
day.
Orange Crush.
Dude, remember that? Feeling 7 Up. I'm feeling 7 Up. And then some star would pop up with the can. 7 Up was the shit in the late 70s.
Right. Feels so good coming down.
Oh,
7 Up.
absolutely. 7 Up.
Yeah,
7 Up
you
was
remember
the
James
shit.
Earl Jones?
No. Absolutely. Salute to 7 Up. Well, we can't drink soda anymore. We shouldn't be drinking
Nah,
soda
we should
anymore,
be
ladies
nah.
and gentlemen. We should be
No.
drinking more water.
Drink water.
This is just colored water. Don't
Yeah,
don't
and
don't be
pure
doing what I'm
drink.
doing.
Drink pure drinks. If you drink, and this is I'm not gonna say, drink,
Purify
but if you
thyself.
drink adult drinks, man. Drink liquor. If you don't drink beer, because beer is the devil. It's like soda.
Dude, Bear got my two uncles right now looking like they 9 months pregnant. That's absolutely. Oh my
I'm saying,
god. They
like,
walking around with a stomach out like they're like, yo,
yeah,
what?
my uncle,
And
yeah, my
legs
uncle,
and legs this big. I'm like, yo, what
yes,
is going on? Bear.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, bro, that Messi jersey is too small, man.
No.
Yo, hey, and shout out to all my family members, and this is worldwide, man. Whether it's blood or relation, shout out to all my family members that's still wearing Jamaican soccer jerseys, bro. I never knew what that was about, bro. Yeah, it's something about that yellow with the green trim that they just cannot hang it up, bro. They love it, bro.
Because it means something. It
Well,
means something. They will never hang
golly.
it up. It can't ever hang it up. Salute to those. Salute, yo, absolutely. Knicks fans, we're so sorry we started so bad. But you know how we do. Where are we
Unc,
going?
Unc got that Jamaica jersey, that Jamaica soccer jersey. You know the one with Puma, the Puma soccer jersey. You like,
I think my cousin got one right now.
yeah, they will not let that joint go, bro. They just will
Absolutely
not
not.
let it go. But anyway, we
Absolutely
should
not.
be we should be talking about the Knicks, and we should be talking about old school, some historic Knicks events and things of that sort. But AD, I'm not gonna lie to you. This place we are in as Knicks fans is unfamiliar, right? It's an unfamiliar space. The last time I felt this good about a Knicks team this late in the season was 1994. I ain't even gonna hold you. Now, I'm not saying the Knicks are going to the finals, but what I am saying is that Knicks team had a little bit of injuries. They wasn't as injured as this Knicks team, but that Knicks team was a little banged up, but they got red hot at the end of the year. And John Starks, the combination of Starks and the supporting cast along with Ewan, right? Because Ewan was doing his normal stuff. Ewan wasn't having a peak Pat season or a bad Pat season. He was just having a regular franchise player type season, right? But Starks down the stretch of that season, bro, Starks looked like he had the potential to be a second type franchise player, right? And for those that don't remember, what happened was um Starks was balling, and then he got the grade 2 MCL sprain, and we didn't know if Starks was going to be on the playoff roster. But Starks was balling so hard, right? It's like, yo, you can't leave Starks off the roster because if you do you really want to go into the playoffs with your starter as Rolando Blackman and backup as Hubert Davis, right? Do the Knicks even get to the finals without Starks? And I know people are going to point out Game 7, and I understand that. What I'm saying is do you get to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals without John Starks? Absolutely not, because of the way he played in that small stretch of time, and that's the reason why Pat Riley had so much faith in him with a championship on the line. Should he have pulled Starks? Absolutely. Did he? No, because of how Starks played in those 30 games or so leading up to that one moment, right? But now, with that said, the Knicks are in a situation where A team with this many injuries may still win 50 games. A team with this many injuries has the potential to still be a second round team or better. This team can legit has a chance, has a chance, has a chance. I'm not saying that they will, has a chance to be the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. After all the adversity, changing the roster and at the new year, making a trade at the deadline, all these injuries, all these different things, this team still has a chance to be the number 2 seed in the East. AD, what do you give credit to in that situation? Why we are here?
I mean, it's it starts with the coach. You know, whatever we may feel about Thibodeau, and it runs the gamut as far as the things that I've heard.
Right.
I've been on that gravy train as well, but I've been willing to allow him to see him through some things before I, kind of kick, decide if he's not the one to take you to that. But that's not what we're talking about. But it would be, him. You have to give management some credit. I've kicked their backs in. I'm not starting a parade, but I want to talk. I want to speak to this injury thing. To be quite honest, and I'm tired of talking about it. It comes up so often. It's almost like it's the prepared excuse if you don't get there.
Right.
I keep hearing this narrative, around, as in, like, everybody else is not going to get injured. It's almost like if we had it all, you know, this would have been it's sad. It's like you're already saying you're only going to get but so far. You know what I'm saying? And it's starting to drive me sick, really and truly. Injuries are part of any game.
Right.
We don't know who else who may get injured as time goes on, because guess
Right.
what? They're still playing.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? The playing field may be leveled. It's I would bet money on it.
Okay.
And I'm sure there are lines on it as far as who may be next to get injured, because we bet on everything in this society. So I'm sure there are lines on that. So I'm not giving the Knicks that comfort to be like, yeah, golly gee,
Right.
Brunson is averaging 27.5. If he only had Randall the entire way, if he only had Mitch the entire way, no, I'm not doing that, because we just don't know how this is going to lay out. And I'm just tired of hearing this injury thing. It's like it's enough of it already. Enough. These guys are out here playing their hardest. There's a new, like, that game against Sacramento. That might have been the best game played this season, from both teams' standpoint. It was physical. It was hard. And you didn't even know that Randall wasn't in the game,
Right.
or that Mitch wasn't in the game.
Right.
So I'm not on that injury thing, and our season is not going to go the way we thought it could have been, because of I'm letting it play out. I'm letting it go to the river. Okay? And I'm using that analogy because I've been watching poker for like the
Okay.
last
Yeah. It's a
for the
poker.
last 72 hours.
Yeah.
I'm so I am so on my poker shit right now, Freezy. I'm telling you, dog, I am destined to play in the main event one of
Right.
these years.
I am on. I hear your point. I hear you. Right. I'm really on a classic R&B group vibe right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to it for a while, and I honestly believe that a few of the groups that we hold in high esteem, maybe we shouldn't.
I
And
don't know
the
which
reason
other what groups are you speaking about, Freezy?
the
Who? Name
the, re,
names. Name names.
the reason why I say that is because a top 10 can't have 25 groups in it, right? That's what I'm saying. We
Okay.
like, oh yeah, they definitely top 10. Oh yeah, they definitely top 10. Oh yeah, they definitely top 10. Right? And then when you say, well, where does Boys to Men fit in there? Is Boys to Men top 10? Nah, man, you can't put Boys to Men up there. We talk about old school. Wait a minute. Boys to Men been out over 30 years. If 30 years is not enough to be old school, then what is? Right? Is New Edition not in there? You know? I mean, New Edition has been out for 40 years.
Well, you'd have to set the criteria.
Now,
You know.
old school means old school, right? You know what old school means?
No, but I mean, are we going old school R&B, old school rock? Like, what are we
No,
doing?
old school R&B. I'm talking about the classic
Oh,
old school R&B groups.
I mean, I wouldn't. There's a lot of groups that I would name before I would pull for Boys to Men, and that's no disrespect to Boys to Men. There's a lot of
Boys to Men
groups.
outsold everybody. So
That's fine. That's fine, and that's great. And they've made one of the greatest. I don't even know if you can call it slow, whatever. It's one of the greatest records, of its time, of any time. I love that song. But am I taking Drew Hill over Boys to Men? Yeah,
oh, Drew Hill?
yeah. I like Drew Hill better than Boys to Men. So there's a lot of groups,
You like
and I
them over
don't
you like Drew Hill over the Stylistics?
no. So that's what I'm about to say. There's a lot of groups there, and if you, depending on the day, you know, or even just over a course of time, and be like, am I pulling out my Boys to Men CDs? I'm versus when I'm really like looking for like the songs I'm really looking to hit. Like I may play Odyssey
Yeah.
all day before I even you know what I mean? Once I start playing that, I'm definitely not going to Boys to Men unless the mood changes. I'm definitely not going there.
Because I like Tavares also. Remember Tavares? You remember Slave?
Slave,
Yeah, man.
those are legendary. But those are, as time goes on, those are groups that are not going to be heard anymore. You're not going to hear them. You're gonna have to dig. You're gonna have to dig for like the classic stations, or not even that. You're gonna have to go to, the internet now and Spotify and stuff like that, and just type in their names, and that's how you're gonna get those groups now, because no one is really playing them.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time recently. I've spent a lot of time in the car, so I'll go back to like some of our old school stations
Right.
that are still around or whatever, and I'm like, wow, you guys play the same old school record. I love New Edition. Shout out to them. But they should not be consistently in the rotation over a lot of these. It's almost like
The Gap Band
it's almost like they only go to the 80s and stop.
and stop. Right.
And they only pull out a certain amount of groups.
Right.
And it's like, all right, they had a top, whatever their top one. It's like, if there's not, and no disrespect to them, but I've always believed that there's payola. There's payola now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's payola on YouTube.
Yeah, because you could reach out, and no disrespect to that group. I love New Edition.
Right.
I grew up with Candy Girl, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other top or hidden gem records that, if your program director is really about his business, you know what I mean? There's a lot of fans who are like, yo, what happened to that record? What happened to that group?
Yeah.
Because we don't hit, like, come on.
Yeah. What happened to the SOS band? What happened to Midnight Star? What happened to Atlantic Star?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to that
Surface?
group? Yeah. What happened to, I haven't heard a Surface record on the radio I'm like, and Surface in the 80s?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Surface was cranking out them bang. Surface, in my opinion, reminds me of the Spinners, where they might not have a large number of number one hits, but in every top 20, you always see Surface there in the top 20.
And it was always some big sweeping sound of record. Surface was just, it's just sad how they ended up.
Yeah.
fighting over every little whatever, which is the story of 99.9% of the bands. But to the point of it is, if you depended on radio, you'd never hear these guys ever again.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those groups, a lot of those, even individual, singers and so forth, and like their music is just gone.
Yeah.
Like you're
Jagged Edge. Jagged Edge has been out 30 years, man.
I love Jagged Edge.
Silk has been out 30 years.
Silk too.
Troop has been out 35 years.
Troop has been out longer than them. Troop was out,
But like 35
them
years.
too. I haven't heard their record on the radio.
Tony has been out like 35 years.
Tony was still here. Yeah, I'll still hear Tony. But
but the point I'm getting at is we named all those groups, right? We named all those groups, and then we didn't mention the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Stylistics, the Delphonics, right? The Miracles, the Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, Parliament and Funkadelic, Kool and the Gang. See, a top 10 can only have 10 groups in it, bro.
Yeah. Really. And once you start naming those names, some of them other groups are like Jagged Edge. You start falling off. Like you're not gonna.
They go from being number 7 to like number 19.
No, they go to like number 35.
Yeah.
They take a tragic slide. Absolutely.
Yeah. They get a flat tire. Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to them, but there's just so many.
Yeah.
That have had, but now they're lost and forgotten.
Yeah. And it's a shame. It's a shame that they are. And the reason why I'm there and I'm at this point with the Knicks is I think the injury thing this season that we're experiencing as a Knicks fan, I think we should accept it all with all its warts. Because what's going to happen is this feeling that we're having about this Knicks season is going to become the jagged edge of the R&B GOAT conversation. In a few years, the memory of this season is going to dissipate. It's going to fade away, right? And what I have been intentionally trying to do is have everyone recognize that what's happening right now is greatness, right? Like even with all the injuries and with the trade and with losing players that we love and all of that stuff, this season is one to remember. I'll give you another season that should be one to remember, and a lot of people don't remember it. 96, right? You remember the feeling in 96 of how this team could beat anybody if everything goes right, we could be the champs, but we were not the champs. And now you don't hear people talk about that 96 team, right? In the 90s, they talk about two separate teams, 94 and 99. Yep. And one could argue as a team, the 96 team may be just as good or better than both teams, though they didn't make the finals.
Maybe. But to the point, they didn't make the finals.
They didn't make but the feeling that a lot of Knicks fans at that time was this team could do anything they wanted to do. That was the feeling of that team in 96.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Really?
I don't know about that. Because you still had the 96-97 team, which is what you're talking about. You still had, you have Ewing, Elder. They got rid of Nelson halfway of the previous season, and they're bringing in new guys. They brought in LJ, removed Mason, bring in a Childs, Houston. Starks was still a favorite. Starks have been having to transition to the bench.
6 man of the year.
6 man of the year, but it wasn't like the 94 because there was so many new guys that you didn't know if they were as battle tested, as the guys that left.
That's why I disagree with you slightly. I disagree with you slightly because the infusion of new energy, in my opinion, put a new interest in this team. Like for legit, now we had a shooting guard that could actually get you buckets.
Yeah, it definitely put a new energy. I mean, from the team that was, remember, they had traded for Lowhouse and Reed and all these guys to try and clear cap space. You know, they traded Charles Smith at the deadline and all these things, and they were, you know, I get all of that. The new guys created new interest, right?
Right.
But the new guys didn't have, you just didn't know. Remember, Chris Childs is coming from the Nets.
The Nets, bro.
He's coming from the Nets.
Playing shooting guard for the Nets.
Yeah, kind of. He's quasi. He's because he never was a point guard per se. He just was at the Nets, and shout out to him because in his contract year, he balled out.
Yep.
But the Nets sucked.
Yep.
You understand? So, and the thing with him was he was a two-way player.
Yep.
And when we signed him to be the point.
Yep.
He was not a point like that. He wasn't a traditional point in that era.
You know what my uncle told me? My uncle told me when it happened, because and to his credit, my uncle was absolutely right in the comparison. He was like, that boy gonna be Dennis Johnson for us. That's what he was saying. When we got Chris Childs, he said Chris Childs was going to be Dennis Johnson for us. And when he said it, he was not talking about Seattle Dennis Johnson. He wasn't talking about Phoenix Dennis Johnson. He was talking about the veteran 26-year-old Dennis Johnson or 27-year-old Dennis Johnson that the Celtics got, right? The guy that was going to be your primary backcourt defender, potentially all NBA defender. Dennis Johnson was all NBA defender multiple times. Excuse me, by the time he got to the Celtics, right? But he was going to be that guy that was going to play point, be a big, athletic, strong point guard against the Eastern Conference that had big, athletic guards that can score at will. And if you remember, if you guys remember, the NBA at that time was in the golden era of two positions, right? They were in the golden era of centers and big men, right? And the golden era of extra large shooting guards, right? The NBA, I think that era, AD, was probably the era of the biggest shooting guards we can all remember.
It was, but I had to think about it, but it wasn't. That wasn't Childs. Childs is 6'1". He's about as big as Brunson.
He's 6'3", about 220s.
Okay,
Childs was big. Yeah,
Childs was all right, about a little big. I mean, but he wasn't as big as those guys. But here's the thing with that.
But AD, he wasn't. But the thing is, if you bring in Allen Houston, who can't guard those guys, you have to bring in somebody to put in the backcourt to guard those guys.
Absolutely. But here's the thing with that. You have kind of a youth movement. Larry Johnson is at that time, 31, I think, 20, or was he like, no, he's about 28, 29.
No, LJ was like 26. No, you're right. He's
like 28, 29, something like that. Because because he came in at 92, 91, right, 91. So, but here's the thing. Childs is not Mark Jackson. He's not Harper in the way of as them deferring and giving Ewing the ball whenever he called for it.
Yep.
And in the big, and he's not he's not Ward,
right?
In that way, and it caused a problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't know if you remember that Christmas game, that Christmas Day game against the Lakers where they blow up.
Yeah,
and you see Ewing as Ewing is walking off the court. very demonstrative at Childs.
Yep. Yep.
It took, and then at some point of the season, that whatever management said or when Childs said, Childs goes to them and is like he gives up the starting position.
Yep. Yep.
Right, and only to, as time goes on, we remember Childs favorably because two-way player, hit some big shots, but it wasn't that way, originally. He had a hard time with Ewing because Ewing had a Ewing, we love Pat. I love Pat.
Yeah.
But Pat was like that old dog that with the bone.
Yeah.
He didn't want to give it up. He didn't want to give up, nothing at that moment. He was still trying to hold on. That this is me. I'm the guy.
You know what they say, man? Holding on is very hard to do when the love is gone.
When the love is gone.
Probably another top 25, another top 10 R&B LTD. Jeffrey Osborne.
Salute to Jeffrey Osborne. But if you look at how Robinson embraced Duncan,
right,
that's not the way how Pat embraced those new guys when they came around. Pat was like, I'm happy to have y'all. Y'all will make my job easier. But it's Pat and the Knicks, not the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Versus when David Robinson got Tim Duncan and them, he was all too ready to slide to the background.
Yeah.
He was all too ready to be the Pips.
Yep. Yeah.
He was all too ready to be in the back,
because he wanted to win.
He wanted to win. Pat wasn't, and this is no shot at Pat, but that's just the facts of it.
That's just the facts of it, right?
Yeah,
and the other thing too, memorably, what that team should have been, and AD, you know how I feel about Pat. I love Pat, but I felt like at that moment that you just mentioned, they should have traded Pat for whatever they could get for him, right?
They should have traded Pat before then.
Yeah, we talked about that plenty of times. Y'all know I love Pat.
Nelson was right.
Yeah, and if my wife would allow it, I would get a Pat Ewing tattoo on my heart, bro. Y'all know it, right? Y'all already know it. But it's just something about getting a man tattooed on your body. That's just not quite properly right.
I don't think I'm from that era. I don't think I know about that.
Right. But my thing is, AD. My thing is you saw flashes of the Knicks stepping into a new world, right? And glimpses, like in 1 or 2 game stretches, you could see the new addition of what the Knicks could be without Pat Ewing, right? You got an athletic point guard in Chris Childs and a smooth scoring machine in Allen Houston. And both of them are about 26 maybe.
Yeah, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it in Allen early.
I did,
and I was a big proponent of getting Allen.
Right.
If we go back to that, Allen had a hard time because John Starks lit as John, even though John failed in the biggest moment of his career.
Right.
John lived in our hearts then, as he lives in our hearts now.
Right.
That was a hard thing for Allen, and I've heard Allen talk about that in those games, Jeff Van Gundy used to sit him in those big moments, them early moments, and he was like, "Hey, you guys brought me here for this. What's going on? Da 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 da." And he couldn't understand, and it took a minute for him because one, his defense when he first came here was subpar,
was below average, yeah,
right.
And
he comes from a Detroit, after their championship run, where they're not expected to go deep runs at that time, and the Knicks are, and he wasn't ready for that.
Right.
That physicality and.
To sum it up, everybody, he didn't know how to win. Allen Houston didn't know how to win. That's how you sum it up. And in those winning moments, they needed dudes that knew how to win, or had the innate ability or had something in their DNA that made them stand up in those moments. Like when Kobe Bryant would go, or not Kobe Bryant. Let me see. If Mitch Richmond went for 7 straight points against the Knicks, Chris Childs had like this dog in him that he was like, "You're not scoring for the rest of the game." Now, of course, Mitch Richmond would score, right? But Chris Childs would step up to the challenge, like, "Bruh, let me get him." Allen Houston in those moments is like, "Yeah, we can go bucket for bucket, bro."
But he didn't. But he didn't. He didn't. Let's use that year, for example.
Right.
We know what happened with the suspension.
Yeah.
We know what happened in Game 6.
You know that was fixed, bro. You know.
Yes, I got it. But
couldn't wait.
But Ewing and Houston are on the court in Game 7. Allen Houston, if memory serves me correctly, scored 25 points in that game, and it was the most unrememberable 25 points because why? Tim Hardaway Sr. was kicking our
from that top of the corner 3. We could not guard that top of the corner 3. And everybody, listen, I'm gonna point this out, and I don't want to put a rock in everybody's shoe. But in those Pat Riley, Jeff Van Gundy defensive systems, the top of the key three would kill those Pat Riley. And it wasn't just like the NBA Finals with Sam Cassell and Robert Horry and Kenny Smith. It was Tim Hardaway Jr. It was Reggie. It was Steve Smith with the Atlanta Hawks. It was like
you couldn't stop Hardaway Sr. You couldn't. Chris Childs, and I've said this before. Chris Childs, in my opinion, is one of the best on-ball defenders that these eyes have ever seen.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
He couldn't stop him. Hardaway coming down, because Hardaway would do that little, you didn't know if he was going to give you the crossover, so you had to be honest with it. So you kind of had to give him a little bit of a room.
Yeah.
But Childs would be like right there with him. And then once he bounced it and gave himself a little bit of room.
Yeah.
And he would rise. And I mean, that man, I know Chris Childs still sees him in his sleep.
Yes.
Because he just kept raining him.
For those that don't know, there was a non-shooting Tim Hardaway era, the Golden State era, right, where he just constantly probed the defense and got to the rim. And then there was the Miami pick and roll Hardaway, where if you saw that screen coming, you had to play the screen because if he got a step on you, he was going to attack the middle of your defense, right? They got Hardaway at the perfect blend of he can shoot that thing and he can get by you. Now, he didn't stay at that level for too long. AD, where was he at that level? Maybe 2.5 seasons of that he can stroke the 3 and he can get by you before he started declining and he just.
You mean with Miami?
Yeah.
I think he was that good up until
like 97, 98?
99.
Okay.
When we beat them in 99. Because remember, in 99, they were the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So he was that good until like 99, 2000.
Okay.
Right? But his 99 series wasn't great.
Yeah. No, I'm saying what I'm saying is I'm talking about the combination of him getting to the rim and being a pure shooter. But in my opinion, by the time 99 got here, he was just a shooter.
All right. I'd have to, but he was just unstoppable in that.
Yeah, that pick and roll, bro.
Oh my God.
Him and Alonzo Mourning in that pick and roll, bro. You just couldn't.
I mean, that Game 7, I remember it because I couldn't watch it until like the second half. I was at work and I was so upset because I had to go on a field trip for work that day. And remember this? You used to be able to call in the sports. Was it 976-1616 and get the latest?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I must have spent like $2 that day because I kept running to the phone. Phone booth, ladies and gentlemen.
Phone booth, everybody.
I kept running to the phone booth to put in. I kept dialing 718-976-1616 to get the latest update. because I couldn't get to a radio to hear the game, and like every time I called, the lead just kept going further and further, and I got to the van, I put the radio on, then I got to finally to where we were leaving. I finally like caught like the last end of the third to like the whole fourth quarter.
Right.
And it was just a miserable Sunday. I will never forget that Sunday. It was just so freaking Saturday. It was a miserable Saturday afternoon.
Right.
You know, I never will forget that Saturday afternoon. It was just, damn, what could have been?
What could have been? Yeah.
But you know, gosh, that's why I don't want to give. Another reason why I don't want to give today's players that out. You know what I'm saying? That because when we look back at it, we go, you know, well, if we had the whole team, no. If Charlie Ward did not decide to run into PJ Brown and have a WWF moment, you know, we were losing Game 5.
Yeah.
For people who don't remember, the Game 5 was over.
They were shooting free throws. Yeah.
They were shooting free throws. It was over.
Yeah.
Charlie Ward, I don't know what got into his mind, but, you know, he's boxing out, old school. You know, Charlie's a football player. You know what I mean? So Charlie has that tough mentality. And then in 2 seconds, you just see PJ Brown taking him and flipping him upside down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose.
And David Stern couldn't wait. David Stern, in a twist of fate, David Stern hated the Knicks, right? But James Dolan paid for that man's funeral in full, right? Which is ironic.
That's because of the frozen envelope.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving. He's still paying for that.
Yeah.
The frozen envelope.
Yeah.
You know?
And to be honest, I think this team here, AD, I kind of disagree with you. I understand it's an excellent point, but I think what happened is over the last 50 or so years, we don't have many memorable teams that we can legit stake a claim to them and have them rest in our hearts, right? Because as time goes by, right, people are forgetting the Knicks tape team and remember the Lin-sanity more than the Knicks tape team, right? And Lin-sanity was what, 2 games, 20 games, 10 games, something, you know? And we forget the Knicks tape team, the Knicks tape team that was knocking off the one. You remember how good the Chicago Bulls were during that Knicks tape era, bro? Yeah. Derrick Rose was like, you know how people try to describe Ja Morant and they can't. Mm-hmm. They're like, yo, it's a little bit of Derrick Rose, it's a little bit of Kevin Johnson, it's a little bit of Skywalker. You know, they try to combine. At that time, to see a guard built like a little bit more slender than Tim Hardaway Jr., right? Or Tim Hardaway, I'm sorry. A little bit more slender than Hardaway. A guard that stocky, but that fast and that strong and that quick and that explosive and that athletic with that Chicago hood mentality to him. And he was quiet and he wouldn't talk. Right? So it's like this mystery thing about Derrick Rose. And during that era, man, we just going out. Every time we play Chicago, we just bomb away from threes. They couldn't stop us.
It was a fun team.
Yeah,
but it was a team it was an incomplete team, and that's no disrespect to the Jeremy Lin team, you know, because that was exciting times.
Yeah.
You know, whether we appreciate him, whether we like him,
we were Lob City. During Lin-sanity, we were Lob City, bro.
Yeah, I mean that pick and roll, he was just absolutely deadly on the pick and roll.
Yeah.
He was meant for the pick and roll.
Yeah.
And the pick and roll, the pick and dive. I mean, Tyson Chandler was living in the high for the hog. Yeah. Because if the defender made the wrong step, he would.
Yeah. If the defender made the wrong step, you could get dunked on by Tyson Chandler or Amari, bro.
And he could shoot. That's the thing. No one knew.
Finish at the rim.
and finish at the rim. No one knew, and it speaks to the biasness of talent evaluators. It's the same thing for Brunson. You look at him, and because he's Asian American or whatever, and he doesn't look the part, and he's not falling off. Look at his record up until that moment in his college career. His teams had only known success.
Yeah,
he was Mr. California.
And after he left, they were terrible. By the way,
and after they left, they were terrible.
Yeah.
So, but
my uncle saw him. My uncle was like, "Man, y'all got Chan playing point guard." I was like, "Chan, we got what? Oh,
Jackie Chan.
That'll never work. You got Chan playing point. That'll never work." And I'm like, "Relax, bro. He balling, bro. Give that man some credit."
Two things happen. The fan base, management, they all for a good part of that season going into next season, they were willing to kick Melo's back in.
Yeah.
For Lin, who was not all in. Remember, Lin gave an interview, or I think it was at the end of a post game, where he said he was 85%.
Yeah.
85%.
He should have never said that, bro.
He should have never said that. You know, Lin had a Volvo sponsorship within like a week. I mean, he's getting everything.
Yeah.
You know, he's in New York, where everything is magnified to the umpteenth degree.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in the off season, when it looked like they were gonna somehow, coexist, him and Melo, and I believe I remember a story where him, Melo, and Woody, they met for dinner and they sat down and they it's like East meets West kind of thing. I'm like, this guy's only had 25 games.
Yeah. And he's getting superstar treatment.
And he's getting this type of treatment.
Yeah.
Right? But because the fame you had to deal with the fame. And then he pulls the backdoor maneuver and the Knicks banish him to the shadow room forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's his games are still the most watched in Knicks history. That's still including the championship games.
Yep. To this day.
To this day.
They are still, Lin-sanity has a place in our heart to this day.
MSG put the whole film can of him somewhere in the land of the lost, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time they've showed a rerun of the Lin era. No.
Really?
I can't remember. If someone in the chat tell me if they've done it.
They do it on the anniversary every year.
But I know it was for a long time. For a long time, they would not show anything for a long time. It was like, yo, you dead to us.
Yeah. Hey, just real quick, I gotta play a joint by my man Jay Boogie. It's a joint called Mike Breen. I'm gonna play it real quick, and then we're gonna be back on the other side.
When shots are being made, y'all know the phrase. That's when shots being made. All the shots that win the game. Fourth quarter, it's crunch time. The game's on the line. Them real players, they shine. I might bring with the flow. In case you didn't know. Fourth quarter, it's crunch time. The game's on the line. Them real players, they shine. This, that on the sideline with the game talk. I'm so clever and smooth, I bring the game talk. You know me, they call me a Mr. Middleman. If I ain't with Clyde, it's Doris Burke, ESPN. This, that flow game coverage, what announcers do. Customized double bank, Steph Curry, my shoe. I'm on to another season with my colleagues. I'm broadcasting this info on your TV. Any game I call, highlight the big plays. Every city around the world, they know the catchphrase. For decades, I call games for the fan idols. The first NBA voice called 100 finals. I dedicate my hard will, that's for the love of the game. My black robot Parker's rectangle frames. The press row, ESPN on your ABC. Or Nick Gaming on your MSG. Hit 'em. That's for shots being made. All the shots that win the game. Fourth quarter, it's crunch time. The game's on the line. Them real players, they shine.
Bang.
Bang. Yeah, man. Salute to Jay Boogie, man.
Salute
Salute to our guy Jay Boogie.
Jay
You
Boogie.
can catch Jay Boogie's all of Jay Boogie's stuff on YouTube Music. Go to YouTube Music and subscribe to his YouTube Music channel, and just go ahead and download and stream all Jay Boogie. He's also on Spotify. So just you can go to Spotify and stream the Jay Boogie stuff. Salute to Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie probably somewhere out in the world with a cape on, saving the world.
With a Knicks cape on.
With a Knicks cape on, bang. Yes.
Bang.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, man. And the thing is, with this team versus other teams, I think, for instance, if we have a similar season next season and have a similar result next season, I think this season to be forgot about.
Yeah, because it would be the same result.
Right.
If it's a similar result, same thing, ending or whatever, you only gonna remember what's latest in the mind, unless this ends in a special way.
Right.
You know, and be like, oh my God, can you believe that call? Like say for instance, if what happened to Brunson against Houston happened in the playoffs in a game 7, right? Can you now that would make we'd be talking about that for the rest of our lives. You know, no question about it. We'd be talking about that forever and a day.
Forever.
Yeah,
Ever.
ever.
Yeah, man.
You know,
yeah. No, I got you.
So absolutely. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not giving this the injury excuse. I'm not doing that. You know, I want to let it play out. You know, hopefully Randall can come back, but a shoulder separation, coming back from a shoulder separation in 2 months, you know what I mean? Like, you have to prepare for life without him.
Yeah.
You know,
and if he has the surgery right now, so it's end of March. So if he has the surgery right now, he should be back for training camp. Right?
Yeah, that's 6 to 7 months.
Yeah. But if he waits until the playoffs, say if he waits till June, then Randall may be out until December. You know what I'm saying?
Because what you're doing is you're asking him, or better yet, you're asking for other NBA players not to bang him on that shoulder when he steps on the court. Not gonna happen.
Yep.
Not gonna happen. Like in every game plan, it's like, look, don't have him out here tiptoeing around y'all and y'all on some, oh, that's just Randall, you know, let Randall slide. No,
they ain't gonna do that.
You're gonna test it every chance you can.
Yeah.
Every and it's on. That's what you should do. It's the playoffs.
Hey,
we're gonna go home.
I got a question for you, and that's not Randall related, but I want to ask you while I can remember. And I have to preface it. Somebody DM'd a question to me, right? And I should put them on the screen and show it to you so you can laugh. but I'm not, right?
Protect the innocence.
Yeah. Somebody asked me if Jalen Brunson is the greatest point guard in Knicks history.
Gosh, come on. Come on.
What?
How can that even be a question when, like, you hear Clyde every night? Clyde.
First of all, the person that DM'd me, I'm just gonna ask straight up in the camera. Excuse me, AD, while I get frustrated, bro. I just gotta ask them straight up. I just gotta ask this person straight up, man. What are you, 12? Are you 12 years old? Why would you ask me a question like that? What are you, 11? Are you in 5th grade? You gonna ask me if Jalen Brunson is the greatest point guard in Knicks history? How about maybe right now? How about maybe sixth. Right? How about the dude has only played? The dude has only played what? How many games? About 110 games as a Knick.
I'm gonna go further, but I'm gonna go further than that though. Freely, I think he may be second.
AD, stop this ridiculousness
He may
right
be
now,
second.
bro.
He may be second.
Right
he ain't topping Clyde, right? But
automatically after 120 games, he's better than Richie Guerin.
You know what? All due respect to Richie Guerin. I would have to be 100 because I did coin the term "the house that the Brunson built."
Right.
And I don't want to go there. It's an argument not to have, but I would say he's on the trajectory to.
We all agree
to be in that conversation, but
we all agree.
You
just said, yeah, we all agree.
If this is a hot Knicks summer, like I said, it's a possibility of.
Right.
You're having that conversation immediately. He gets this team to the finals. We're having that conversation.
No, we are not.
He gets this team to the finals. We're having that conversation.
No, we are not. You are talking to yourself like Christopher Williams.
Oh, okay. I will sign on to the house of the Brunson alums, and we will have that conversation. He gets his team to the finals. You're having that conversation. You haven't seen a point guard. You haven't seen a Knicks team led by the point guard that has gotten that far since Clyde.
Bro, you will be.
Think about that. Think about that.
Talk to myself when there is no one to talk to.
Dude,
we can't have that conversation. Brunson has to have 6 more seasons.
No.
Like this one, bro.
No. He gets to the finals this year.
In a Clyde conversation?
He gets to the finals this year.
No, ain't in no Clyde.
We can start having that conversation. He gets to the finals this year. It's been, like I said, Freezy. Think about it. Since Clyde, there has been no team, no point guard led team dominantly that has gotten to the finals at all, let alone in the way how he's playing. It hasn't happened in 51 years. That's just a fact. He gets there. You know how fans today talk about, LeBron is better than Jordan and LeBron is this or whatever, and we kind of forget about everything that has happened pre-LeBron. It would be the same thing.
No.
It truly would be. Fans would be that because it would be the latest and the greatest. And you would have finally, not that, look, we're Knicks fans. So most of us have never seen those championship teams. But because of the respect and the legacy, we're always going to have those teams in our hearts, right? The 94 team, we're always going to have that team in our heart. I've spoken about that, the days of my youth. The 99 team, we're always going to have that team in our heart. He gets there, he would be right there, but for like in a different way.
No.
Okay. I'm not here to try and convince you. I'm just letting you know what that would be at that time.
I think if those things occur, like what you mentioned, he can be held in the esteem of Latrell Sprewell. Like how we view Sprewell.
That's no disrespect to Sprewell.
Huh?
That's no disrespect to Sprewell.
That's no disrespect to Spree. Yeah, exactly.
But he's coming from. Sprewell came to a place that was already there. Ewing was already there. The culture was already there. That Knicks team was already winning. The Knicks, as much as he did for them and helping them get to the championship, they did a lot for him because they brought him into a winning situation and helped to kind of reestablish him. It's the opposite for Brunson. It's like what Ruth was to the Yankees. This is
a 0-time All-Star, but when he got here, bro.
Yeah, but when he got here, though, Babe
Ruth was the best player in the game, and everybody.
Yeah, but when he got to the Yankees, though, everything changed. This Knicks team has told the moment he's gotten here, Freezy, everything has changed. We haven't seen a guard like him. We have not.
I could say the same thing for OG Anunoby.
Freezy, OG Anunoby is the icing. If Jalen Brunson is not here, OG Anunoby looks like what RJ Barrett would look like.
No, absolutely not.
And I like OG Anunoby.
Absolutely.
I was championing for him to be here. He's a part of the parliament that answers to the president.
Right. I like that play on words right there.
I just flipped two systems together.
I like that.
Who answers to the president? Who's the president?
Right. No, I get it. It's like when every time I tell people about this group called The System, and they had this jam. They had this jam WBLS used to play on the radio.
I just want you to know.
You are in my system.
My system.
Yeah.
That one hit. Banger.
WBLS played that song to death. And they had another hit. They had another hit called "Don't Disturb This Groove," but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
That was when I say their hit. That was their hit preceding their smash. Okay. Preceding their "Don't Disturb This Groove."
Yeah.
Ooh, stop playing.
That was definitely
Don't
fire.
play with it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but the Brunson thing, what I'm saying is, I don't want to diminish Brunson. I think Brunson's a great player. I think he's a megastar. But Clyde Frasier, man, come on, bro.
That's Clyde Frasier.
Come on, bro.
But like I said,
first of all, the outfit Clyde had on yesterday, Clyde looked like an ink blot test yesterday.
Clyde is still killing them, baby. Clyde is still. Shout out to Clyde and the wardrobe from then till now. He's been the premier of excellence, whether you like his style or not. Clyde is just the one thing I like about Clyde is you never heard of anything messy with Clyde.
No,
then till now,
always classy.
He's always been, whatever his business. I remember he took Knicks fans into like his part of his world when they went to visit him. I think was in the Bahamas.
Yeah,
is it Bahamas or Bermuda? I can't remember. One of those places, St. Croix, something like that.
Yeah, and
the house, there was a flood or whatever. And he, the Knicks, the cameras are following him around this nice little property, and he was talking how long he's been there. He comes there in the off season, and was talking about his family and his children and so forth and so forth. And there's like a part of him you had never really seen before, and how the locals there, they just, he's not a superstar there. He's just Clyde. He's just Clyde, and whatever, because no man is perfect. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a classy type of my business is my business, and I'll let you in a little bit and remember me, as being, who I was for forever and ever. So Brunson has a way to go to get there, but let him get to the championship this year. We're having the conversation.
See, the thing is with Clyde, and we forget, because when you get 2 championships, you forget about other stuff. Like, we forget about not just 2 championships, but we got to count finals appearances with Clyde, right?
Three straight, right?
Yeah, right, and not just it's not 3 straight. I think one year the Lakers just had the best team. I think 71-72, the Lakers just had the best team maybe in professional sports.
But the Knicks lose then. The Knicks in the finals then.
Yeah.
I think they go 69, 70, 71, 72, 72, 73. They go 3 straight years and they win 2 out of the 3.
Right. I think you forget 70, 71, 72, 70, 71.
I
70,
know they
70, 71 is the I think the one we went to and lost. 71, I mean 70, 71
they
is
play the Lakers twice.
right.
Right? Or is it 3 times? No, they play the Lakers. Is it 3 times?
Yeah, we played the Lakers 3 times, bro.
Right. So they beat the Lakers 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
but one year, I think it was the year after, I think 70, 71 maybe is the year where everybody was injured and we didn't make it. I think the Bucks or somebody won the NBA finals.
Right. The Bucks win it. Right.
Yeah, I think the Bucks won it one year when we were hurt.
Well,
but the thing about
they
it
had
is
Kareem.
that
young Kareem.
and they had just got Oscar Robertson too.
Yes.
Now, remember,
yes.
they didn't always have the big O. They got him for that season.
Yeah, absolutely. But they got 7-4 do it all. People got to, when I say, people got to, as time goes on, as we talk about the things that we won't remember, as time goes on, we're going to forget the dominance of Luau Cinder turned Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
Just turn on the YouTube footage and watch this man in his, like, you're not supposed to be able to do a 20-foot hook shot.
No, you are not.
No, you are not. The human body is not meant to go up this far and to chuck it from 20 feet and be accurate.
Yeah. The irony to that is I was watching the 1982 NBA Finals. And when you say that, I remember seeing Kareem do that and Kareem dribble pull up from 18 feet jump shot.
He just wasn't in later years it was more of the hook, but in the first half of his career it wasn't just the hook shot.
The hook shot was his go-to.
Yeah,
he did everything.
Yeah, he did everything. He did everything and well.
Yeah, and AD. So the thing I want to point out, man, is don't forget the conference finals in 68-69, right? The Knicks were a better team than the Celtics, right? And even the Celtics knew they were in for a scuffle. The Celtics, after that, praised the Knicks and said the Knicks are the future of NBA basketball.
That's what Russell's last year?
Huh?
Is that Russell's last year?
Yep, it was.
Okay.
It was. The Knicks were probably the best team in the NBA, but they were too young. Remember, that team was young. Phil Jackson, Bill Bradley, Walt Frazier. That team was young.
They didn't have Busher yet.
No, they didn't have the Busher.
Yeah, they didn't have Busher yet. So Busher makes a major, because they moved Busher. They moved Walt Bellamy. If I remember the trade correctly, because Bellamy was like a major center at that time.
Yep.
And Reed was the power forward. But, Reed needed to be the center. Because if you look at Walt Bellamy's numbers,
he's just a scorer.
Yeah, if you take a look at his numbers,
scorer.
He's kind of like the Bill Cartwright or better than Bill of his time. But management at that time saw something that they needed to do to get them to the next level, which was the Bellamy trade.
Yeah. He was their major piece, right? Because at the time you couldn't really trade Willis because nobody at that time really knew what Willis Reed could be, because even though he was ascending every year, right now it would be like trying to get true value for Paolo Banchero, right? It'd be like trying to get true value for Paolo, right? Right now he's putting up all-star numbers, but in 3 years, is he going to be an all-star or is he going to be the best player in the game? We don't know that about Paolo yet, right? And so the thing is do you trade Willis and go get you a power forward from another team? Nah. You keep Willis, right? You keep Willis, and then so you go away from the conventional big man lineup and go Golden State Warriors style basketball. The Golden State Warriors style of basketball is not the Golden State Warriors style of basketball. It's the New York Knicks style of basketball, right? Dave DeBusschere is
just with a three.
Draymond Green, the
original
Draymond Green,
just with a three.
Yeah,
just with a three.
Yeah, that's who Dave DeBusschere is. People think Dave DeBusschere is a Charles Oakley type power forward. No, Dave DeBusschere was 6'6", 205 or 6'6", 210, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But he was tough though. He was a tough.
It was tough. Yeah, but it was tough.
Yeah. And so for those that are listening that love to say, hey man, I like the way the Golden State Warriors play, go back and watch the New York Knicks, right? Of 68, of the New York Knicks of 68, 69, 70, 71-ish. 72, we got washed up by the Lakers. And by the time Earl the Pearl got here, we were less of a Golden State Warriors style team that people do the comp and more of a purely talented team. By that time, all the kids had grown up and were veterans, right? And then, so by the time 72 got here, 73 got here, you know what I'm saying? It was less about, the system and more about multiple time all NBA, all-star guys like Clyde and Earl the Pearl and Willis Reed and all of that. Those guys were accomplished megastars by then. Bill Bradley, and all those guys. But my point is, Clyde Frasier's resume has multiple Eastern Conference Finals on it, right? Multiple NBA Finals on it, multiple NBA championships on it, and the Willis Reed game. AD, I got to give you a history lesson, bro. The Willis Reed game is not really the Willis Reed game, bro.
It's the Clyde game.
The Willis Reed game is the Clyde Frasier game.
Yeah.
A game 7 in the Garden, bro. Come on, bro. And so, no disrespect to Jalen Brunson, but until Jalen Brunson does half of what Clyde did.
First of all, I'm sorry to cut you, Uncle Freezy. First of all, Ike BM Dre, you've been running and ducking. You've been like the coyote. I don't even whatever. Just get off. Don't send no more comments. Get off the screen.
Yeah, he says. Yeah.
You deserve to mention Josh Hart. With your figures. Get off the screen. Get out of here.
Yeah, Dre loves Josh Hart now. Dre is gonna get Josh Hart tattooed on his chest.
Absolutely, but I mean, Freezy, if Brunson does that and gets to the finals, I'm sorry, we're in a here and now.
If he gets to the finals, he's in a conversation with Charlie Ward. I'm sorry, Charlie Ward made the finals too, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
yes,
that's why I'm asking.
But Charlie didn't lead the team to the finals. Charlie was just a part. He was a part of the band. Right. Charlie played the sax. Yeah. Sax is very important.
Yeah.
Very important. This team would not make the finals without Jalen Brunson. So stop it. There's levels to this, Freezy. He gets to it in today's generation, how we see things. We're going to remember that, and we're probably going to uphold. Dude, Freezy, you and I have been waiting forever. That's like you and I all of a sudden taking on that stupid conversation like the second one will be better than the first. No. We've been waiting forever.
Right.
Like I've said it before, the Knicks win the championship. That may be it for me.
Yeah,
I may walk away from all of you. May never hear from me again, God.
Bro. If the Jets win the Super Bowl this year,
it's the same thing.
If the Jets win the Super Bowl this year, bro, a lot of Jets fans will call it. They'll be like, "Hey, I've been waiting for this moment my whole life." You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. I can comfortably say I could walk away and that'll be my last memories. Like, I'm good from there. Would I peek in every now and again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it mean the same to me anymore? No. No, because you won't be able to replace that moment. You will not be able to replace the Knicks winning the championship within this. You would not be able to replace that moment for me.
And listen, there was a song, everybody. There was a song called Heaven Must Be Like This.
Must be like this.
Man, listen, the Knicks win a championship. The Knicks win a championship, right? I know people want to play Biggie. They like Biggie, one more chance. No, man, I ain't playing no Biggie, bro. The Knicks win a championship. Bro, the Knicks win a championship. I'm playing Heaven Must Be Like This, man.
Did you see when the Pistons had finally won it? Isaiah held that championship ball in his hand.
Yes.
And the man was having a damn near erotic experience.
Yeah.
And they asked him, like, as he's walking off, and they asked him, what does it feel like? And he goes, heaven must be like this. It must be. He broke out the Ohio players.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
That would be my sports heaven. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I'm good.
Bro, that's
ready to walk away.
That's what I'm saying. Like and so for us to say, if Jalen Brunson makes the Eastern Conference Finals, or not these, I'm sorry, if for Jalen Brunson's team to make the NBA Finals and not win it, for me, that's not the experience, bro. I'm like, yeah, I've seen this before.
No, you're right. You're right.
You know, to me, it's impressive, and it's impressive in a sense that is our stepping stone to something more impressive, right? But not to anoint somebody as a top 3 NBA. I'm sorry, top Knicks guard of all time.
He would be. That would solidify him as one
top 3 in Knicks guard of all time.
And yeah, it would. It would solidify him. It would because, like I said before, from whence he came, from where the organization was. You know, the organization.
Earl Monroe went to multiple NBA Finals and conference championships, bro.
Yeah, but Earl came here to something that was already here. Clyde was already here. Willis is already here.
Yeah. Randall was already here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but he's made. Has he not made Randall into the better ball player?
No.
Has Randall not been? Yes.
No, let's relax, bro. We gotta.
Yes.
We
yes,
gotta
he
relax.
has. He makes it a lot easier.
Randall was an all-star.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. No doubt. But him, Brunson, being here makes it a hell of a lot easier for him to change his game.
What have the Knicks done now with Brunson that they did not do before Brunson?
They were a consistent threat.
Win 45 games?
Well, they consistent threat.
They won 47 last year with Brunson.
They're a consistent threat, and without Brunson, they did not win a playoff round. They won a playoff round with Brunson.
Yeah. Okay. They won a playoff round against with Brunson. Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'm not diminishing Brunson, bro. I think Brunson's a great guard, man. But I think we gotta relax. This is premature. Yeah, that's what that is.
Stop it, Freezy. Come on. Come on, Freezy.
Yeah, bro. Bro. The Brunson debate is the Minuteman.
Look at the history of our guards.
Right.
Take a look at the history of our guards, Freezy. Is he better than Allen Houston right now? Yes.
Right.
Is he better than Latrell Sprewell? Yes.
Brunson?
Better than Mark Jackson? Yes.
Oh.
Is he better than Marbury? Yes.
Is Brunson better than Mark Jackson?
Is he better than Crawford? Yes. Is he better than everybody? Is he better than Tony Douglas? I can go on and on and on and on all of these names.
I don't want to mention those names, bro. We don't have anybody got time for that.
So pick the best. So pick the best of the rest. Pick the best from Clyde till today, is he
Can we
better
do-
than
can
Michael?
we-
Is he
how
better than
about
Michael
we
Ray?
do-
Yes.
How about we do Earl the Pearl, Michael Ray Richardson, and Ray
Yes.
Williams? No, he's
Yes.
not better than no, he's not better than them. He's not even a better scorer than Earl the Pearl.
Oh my. Okay, well, if you're talking about Baltimore or Earl of Pearl, yeah,
Absolutely.
that's different. Knicks Earl of Pearl, no, not so much because he had to come in and fit into a system.
Right.
Brunson right now could possibly, if you wanted to really push it with Brunson, if he had he probably can get you 28, 29 points a game.
What would it take for him to get there? More shots? He's taking more shots
Well, he would have to be more. He would have to be more self-absorbed, and he doesn't need to be that because as you've seen, look at Hartenstein yesterday against Brooklyn. How many times did you see Brunson hit him in the paint, hit him where he needed to get the ball? Over and over again. All of a sudden, teams that are coming and throwing that high double team to Brunson, whatever, quickly getting rid of it. So his height's not even a problem anymore. Because why? He's not looking to be me. Whatever game you want to play with him, he can adapt to that.
That man took 30 shots yesterday.
He should have. But I'm talking about specifically about the times when he had to give up the ball and how the player benefited from it.
And I like Brunson, and it's frustrating me that I'm on this side of the conversation. But yesterday, Brunson was like 8 for 47.
He did not take 47 shots. And he stopped it.
And I don't think he made 8 shots.
And you know what?
It felt like
I would be okay with it because why? He's Brunson.
Okay.
Come with him. Come with Josh Hart. Come with DiVincenzo. This is the house that the Brunsons have built. Okay?
Okay.
And on that note, Freezy, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, me too.
So, salute to you, Knicks fans.
Because you choking me out with this.
You're going to have to respect Jalen Brunson.
Was 7 of 24 for 17 points.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that.
No.
I'm all right with that. Why?
All right. So before,
because I remember what it was before he got here.
I understand that. We had point guards that would shoot 7 of 24 for 7.
We had guys like Kevin Knox. We had guys like I can't even remember their names anymore. They're so gone out of my memory.
Bro, they were trash. And we love Jalen Brunson, by the way, but not in the Clyde Frasier conversation. But before we go, I just like for you to tie up one other loose end. Can you name your top 10 R&B groups of all time so we can get out of here?
10?
10. Not top 10 in this 25 and 19 honorable mentions. No.
Stylistics. Shylights. Not no order. I'm just naming my 10. Isley Brothers, of course. Earth, Wind, and Fire. The Jacksons.
That's 5, bro.
Ohio Players. The OJs. Damn, so you put me on the spot. I had to really think about it.
I brought it up.
I love New Edition, so you can throw New Edition in there. Okay.
2 more.
Heat Wave, you could throw Heat Wave in there. And just one of my personal favorites. I'm so sorry. I love this group. SWV. Absolutely.
Okay. This man.
And if I really thought about it, but you got to give me a chance to really think about it, but I would put SWV at any time. I love that group. That's my group.
Me too. Me too.
I left out the Temptations.
Yes, you left
Oh my
out the
God.
Temptations.
No,
Ain't no honorable mentions.
No, I can't. No, all right, no honorable mentions. That's fine. That's fine. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. It's all right. Your top 10 is your top 10. You can put them in any order.
I'm good with that. No, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
All right. So who I guess that's it then. I guess we can get out of here and eat brunch.
We can't. All right.
Mimosas on deck.
Mimosas on Freezy. Freezy's coming to town soon.
When y'all drink y'all mimosas, how about drink them in a real glass?
In a real mimosa glass.
Yeah, mimosas out of solo cups.
Absolutely.
Ghetto asses.
And on that note, y'all ghetto asses. We don't know where this journey started, but we know where it ended. It ended with you. Look for me and Freezy in the whirlwind. Garvey.
Let's go Jets.